All right, welcome everybody. This is the 2 o'clock Monday class, and we are in book 274. Today we're doing Elvis Presley. I want you, I need you, I love you. Oh, here comes Mavis. Let's let her in. And we're going to talk a little bit about medleys again today, seeing as how I gave you an assignment last week. Did some of you actually try doing some medleys with last week's song? I know Susan did. She said she had some good success. Yeah. Oh, here comes Ron. Let him in.
My dog ate my homework.
My dog ate my homework. I have not heard that one in a very long time. That's what's so cool about this is you don't have to do any of the work. That's what's so cool. You can just open up the book, play the song, and have a good time with it. Yep. Now again, my internet is very slow today, and I'm not sure if it's the weather or if it's because we just got a new, oh wow, that looks weird. We got a new internet server, so I am waiting to see if it's the weather or if we need to get on top of the server and say, hey, what's going on? This is too slow. As long as you are hearing me and seeing me, then it's okay. But I am seeing me move, and then I'm moving, and I'm seeing me move 2 seconds later, so that's not good.
Dawn?
Yes?
Hi, this is Inez. I tried the medley, and I tried recording, saving in the banks. You know, like I picked 4 songs, just half of each song, and they were all in song setup. So I set it up, song set up, and then I went memorize the first song, and then I went to chose the second song, memorized B. Okay, and it didn't work. So then I tried doing A1 and A2, A3. That didn't work either.
That didn't work either. That should have worked. Now,
I did a total reset again.
Here's my suggestion. Song setups are not always going to work for medleys, okay? Because when you're first starting to do medleys, there are 3 rules that I think you should follow to make it easy when you first get started. And those 3 rules are same key, same rhythm, and same tempo. When you go to song setup, you're getting different rhythms and different tempos, and it's just like having 3 complete separate songs every time you push a button, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you want to try to follow those 3 rules, especially when you're first starting. Now, we can break every single one of those rules down the road, okay? But when you first get started, it should be same key, and that's the easiest one to break, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. Same rhythm, same tempo.
Got it. Okay.
So if you have 2 songs, that are similar in tempo, somebody's got a huge. I'm gonna mute you here. All right, I'm gonna mute all just because we're getting too much stuff going on again. There we go. If you've got 2 songs that are similar in tempo, you can use the in-between tempo, and that'll usually work for both songs because you want to try to stick with those rules, and then it's easy to flow from one to the other. Now, there is another rule that you might, it's a rule, but I'm going to go like this, and it's usually the same theme because what you're going to look for is songs that go together, like they're all Elvis songs, or they're all songs from a musical, or they're all songs about love, or they're all songs from the 50s, or they're all songs about rain, or they're all songs about walking, you know, so you can kind of use a theme to keep your songs together, which is why you wanted to play them as a medley in the first place. Okay?
But then you have the same background all the time. So then you have to change the background.
You don't have to do that, but changing the background is one of the harder things to do. Now, if you're going to do a medley of West Side Story songs, they're all different rhythms, tempos, and backgrounds. So that's going to be a whole different thing. And yes, there are ways to do that. And Diane Awe and Marco are masters at that. But for those of us that are just getting started with medleys, try to pick
Same rhythm, tempo.
same tempo, and the same key.
Okay.
Okay? Those are the 3 rules to help you make the songs come together smoothly.
Okay. I have to pick different songs. Okay, thanks.
Hey, Dawn, it sounds like bubbles coming through you. You know, there's some background or whatever, but it sounds like bubbles.
Sounds like bubbles? Okay.
Yeah.
I hear it too.
Yeah.
Is everybody muted?
No.
But
I'm going to
maybe
try
try
muting
that.
everybody. And all right, now check.
That's much better.
Okay, yeah, it was somebody else's. Mine is just slow. I have a very slow internet right now, but as long as you're hearing me, that's okay. And seeing me, as long as you guys can see me and hear me okay. Let's work on this song. We don't have to do medleys, by the way. So everything that I'm teaching you today or giving you today, remember, it's all optional. So if all you want to do is open up your book to I Want You, I Need You, I Love You, this is going to be an easy, fun one to play. So don't worry, you don't have to put it together with any songs, but it's fun to do. That's why we do it. All right, I do have an intro. I will put that on Patreon. It's a very easy intro, but it is kind of nice to have something that gets the song going. And, oh, here comes Helen. Let's get Helen in too. What do we know about this song? Well, it's best known for being Elvis Presley's 7th single release, produced by Steve Sholes. You heard about Muscle Shoals. Muscle Shoals was a producer. You hear him listed in some songs. It was released in May of 1956, becoming Elvis's second #1 single on the country music charts and peaking at #3 on the U.S. Billboard Top 100. Elvis's previous single, #6, was Heartbreak Hotel. So that kind of gives you a little perspective as to when this song was. All right, this was very interesting to read about. This particular song was done in one day in between tours. Elvis was touring, okay? And they wanted to, Mr. Sholes, Muscle Shoals wanted to get this one done. So he hired a plane to bring in the musicians in one day. It was not done well because of stress. I guess the plane was having some problems and it almost went down and it went through weather. And so by the time it actually landed in Nashville, everybody was shaken up and they really weren't relaxed enough to do a really nice job. They did 17 takes of this song and none of them were very good. Okay? So eventually, Muscle Shoals said, go to your hotel, get out of here, nobody's playing good, so just go home. Okay? So he sent him out. But he wanted to get this song out. So he took 2 takes that were the best, number 14 and number 17, and he cut them and pasted them and spliced them all together, and he did such a good job that you'd never know that it was from several different takes. He did a real nice job with that. At the time of release, Presley had 3 songs in the top 20. How many people would like to have one song be in the top 100 in their lives? And he had 3 songs at one time in the top 20. Heartbreak Hotel, My Baby Left Me, which was the flip side of I Want You, I Need You, I Love You, and the I Want You, I Need You, I Love You was also. So one whole A and B side was in the top 20, including the Heartbreak Hotel. So pretty cool. Elvis performed this song on the Milton Berle Show on June 5th, 1956, along with a very early version, he was still working on it, of Hound Dog. Okay? Now, he had favorable and unfavorable audiences' reaction. And that's not a bad thing because that's what makes rock and roll rock and roll. Some of it was like, woohoo, Elvis, go Elvis. And the rest of it was like, oh, we can't have this. It's an outrage. But he had reactions, and that's exactly what, what's rock and roll about. It's like changing and doing stuff that our parents didn't like. So that's every generation has their own set of the outraged parents. Ooh. This is a very interesting song also that it's a typical song pattern. You've heard about the AABA song pattern. All right, that's exactly what this is, and let me explain it a little bit further. The first 8 measures is the first section. Now, you can't count the pickup notes. You have to count with the first full measure, but if you count the first 8 measures, it ends up in the middle of the page. And then, guess what? The second 8 measures is a repeat. So it's the A section all over again. The only thing that changes are the last couple of notes in each section. The middle of the song is called the B section, or the bridge. And that's the section that's completely different from the rest of it. And then the last part of the song starts in the middle of page 105, and that's the A section again. So this is just very typical song patterns, A, A, B, A. So if you just do 8 measures at a time, you're pretty much done with the song. I also want you to notice the chord pattern. Now, yeah, this chord pattern doesn't run true all the way through the song, but a lot of it does. C, A minor, D minor, G7. That is one of the most common chord patterns, especially in the 1950s. Aha! So where am I going with this? When you start doing medleys, you can use this chord pattern and find a whole bunch of other songs that'll work. You can find love songs. You can just say these are all 50 songs. You can find songs with the same chord pattern, and because they fit together, you can use those in your medleys. And I'll give you some suggestions on those. I have a bunch of them right here, so we'll talk a little bit about what we can use. I'll give you some suggestions on what you can use for medleys, and I know you'll be able to find 100 other ones, because this is an easy one to do that. As far as a roadmap, there is none. So it should be actually pretty easy. What kind of rhythms work with this? Well, guess what? When it's a typical 50s song, you can go straight to your ballad, no variation, 50s love songs. And that is your, this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it works with this. That's your typical 50s love song. Those of you that have Wonderful World, it works very well with that. Or even if you like the song After the Lovin' and you've got one of the larger organs, use After the Love. That is a really nice background that works with this. Okay, that might actually give you some clues as to what other medleys you can do it with. 72 beats a minute is where I'm at with this. As far as presets, pretty much anything in your rhythm presets work absolutely fine. And I'm just going to play it for you. Do I have a couple of extra chords for you? Yeah, but I'm going to give those to you after I play it. Otherwise, pretty easy song. Let's see. Let's go with preset 1. I'm going to put the Orchestra Plus back in. But I like this 50s guitar. And rhythm preset 2 is also good because it's got 2 guitars in tandem. And it's also got a growling sax on the bottom. So there are some pretty nice 50s instruments that I'm using for this. Okay. 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 Play it the way you would sing it or the way you remember Elvis singing it, and it's always going to be right. And all I did was use rhythm preset 1 and 2. Now, both of those have the Orchestra Plus off, but at times I did put it back in to give the background a little more oomph. But that's totally up to you. If you go down the line, you're going to find some fabulous sounds. They all work well. They all work well, so no worries here. Questions before I give you some chords? Nope. Okay. Get out your pencils.
Dawn,
Yeah.
what was the tempo again?
72.
Okay.
72. Yep. Worked pretty
Thank
well
you.
with this. Now remember,
I'm
you can
good.
always go a little slower, a little faster. A lot of it's going to depend on what other songs are you using in your medley.
Mhm.
Because if you've got another song that's supposed to be a little bit faster, you might want to compromise and do it right in between. But 72 seems to work pretty well for most 50s ballads. All right, so extra chords. Yes, I have some extra chords. Line 2, measure 3. Now remember, these are all optional. Make that C a C major 7, which is C and B, chickens and butterflies, or a C major 9, which is a 4-fingered chord, and it's B, C, D, E. 4 notes right in a row, or you can put the B on top if you're more comfortable with that, whichever one's more comfortable. Major 9. Let's go to line 3, second measure. The D can be a D7 or a D9. A 9 chord is going to be that 4-finger chord. It is C, D, E, F sharp. Or not, just play D7 if you wish, not a biggie. Let's go to the 4th line. Second measure. The C can be a C major 7 for 2 counts, which is C and B, chickens and butterflies, and then the C7, that's kind of hidden there. You want to go back to that C7 if you're going to play the major 7. Okay, the last line on that page. Make that first chord a C major 7 or a C major 9. So either C and B, or B and C, I'm not going to look. Or B, C, D, E, all 4 in a row. Or you can put the B on top, whichever is more comfortable for you. Let's go to the second page. Second line. Last measure. The G is good for 2 counts. Over the A for the word go, play an E minor or an E minor 7 or an E minor 9. The extra chords just push you to get your brain thinking a little bit more. E minor is, of course, E and G. The 7 is D, E, and G. And the 9 is D, E, F sharp, and G. D, E, F sharp, and G. Subtle differences, but the only reason to play them is, again, to work your brain. Just keep your brain sharp. It's good for you. Third line, second measure. Make that G a G sus, suspended fourth, or a G7 sus. Or just play G7, doesn't matter. G sus is C, D, G, chickens, dinosaurs, and gorillas, and the 7 is, of course, the F, so it would be C, D, F, G. That's good for 2 counts. Beat 3, which is right in the middle of the measure.
Dawn,
Yes?
could you say that G7 sus again? You kind of
Okay.
drowned out there.
C, D, F, G. Chickens, dinosaurs, fish, gorillas.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And then resolve it to the G7 in the middle of the measure, beat 3. Line 4. Second measure, make that C, a C major 7, C and B, chickens and butterflies. And then take it to the C7, which is the lead-in chord for the F. And the last line, make that first C a C major 7 or a C major 9, which is again butterflies, chickens, dinosaurs, and elephants.
Dawn, I got lost there. Once you got past that 1, 2, third line, I don't know where we were.
Okay, the fourth line,
Yeah.
second measure,
Okay.
make the C a C major 7, C and B.
Okay.
Okay, and then the last line, make the C, the very first one, a C major 7 or a C major 9.
Okay.
And then the second to the last measure, the D minor can be a D minor 7, C, D, and F, or a D minor 9, which is C, D, E, and F. It's just such an easy chord to play, but it just gets your brain working a little bit harder.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And you'll also probably notice that I did a finger roll at the very end between the E and the C. And so you're going to have, I'll do fingering later, but for those of you who saw that and want to do that, it's like a glissando when you have a very, very short distance. You can't do from the E to the C and do a glissando. You have to grab every note in between. So if you put the 5 finger on the E and then grab every note in between and just roll your fingers down, it gives you a nice little glissando type of an effect. I use that a lot at the end for the endings of songs, and it's very effective. Okay. So what happens if you don't have any of the organs? Most of the organs are going to have 50s love songs. Rock and roll pianist on the easies or ballad pianist will give you this. If you're on the smaller instruments. As long as you get that 50s. Now, I'm sure you can find other rhythms as well that makes you feel like 50s. Because, yeah, it's got to sound like Elvis. That's all it has to do.
Dawn.
Yeah.
Did you do a couple of, I call them a glide with your foot, where you're on a note holding and you went, ah.
Yes, I did. I'm glad you noticed. Do you remember which instrument I was using?
A guitar.
I was using a guitar, but I was doing my gliding with the saxophone.
Oh,
Yeah.
how'd you do that?
I was using the saxophone, which was rhythm preset 1. There's a saxophone on the bottom. Rhythm preset 2, there's also a saxophone on the bottom. But your gliding is just kicking your foot to the left, touching your note, and then releasing your foot so that it glides up. Because kicking to the left detunes it. And then releasing your foot is what glides it up.
Okay.
And you try to make it sound as natural as possible, and yeah, it's kind of tough. Now, you also, if you've got a double touch bar, for those of you with the double touch bar, this side is actually programmed, defaulted to the glide. So the problem is you're changing chords pretty rapidly, but if you have a hand free, you can touch it, that'll detune it, and then when you release it, it glides it back up. Some of you also have it on your foot pedals. If you use your pedal magic, those of you that have pedal magic, you can set it to glide sustain. And that way, all you have to do is step on your pedal and let go of it, and it will release that sound. And all it does is give a more natural sound to the instrument that you're playing. Guitars are also very good to do glides. I did a few at the bottom of the first page. I stayed on the guitar and I actually did some full fingered strums. That's probably what you were hearing on the guitar.
Okay.
Okay, when I did more and more. I did the full fingered chord, but I did a strum, which means I went from the bottom to the top. If you want those notes, get your pencils out. It's the second to the last measure on the first page, more and more. Under the C, put an A on the second space and an F on the first space. Under the D, put a B on the third line and a G on the second line. Under the C, put a G on the second line and an E on the first line. And then you're just going to roll from the bottom up and hold it. Okay? If you don't want to use those, you can just do some gliding. Or just glide on one of them. But I like the full strum.
Yeah.
Because it's not hard.
Dawn,
Yes?
reading the notes for more and more, please.
More and more, okay. Under the C for more, the first one, the chord is D minor. Your notes are A on the second space and F on the first space. Under the G7 chord, under the D note, B butterfly on the third line and G gorilla on the second line. And under the C chord, G gorilla on the second line, and under that put an E elephant on the first line.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay. So, see how easy this song is? There's really nothing to it. Now, where would you change sounds? If you're going to change sounds, where would you change sounds?
Right after that, CDC.
Huh? Yeah, that's a perfect place because you're going into the bridge. Every 8 measures, you have a different section.
Right.
So those are the places that you might want to change a sound or not. You might just want to add a duet or add a string or do something a little different. But your every 8 measures, every time you have a period or you're at the end of a section and you repeat a section again, that's where you could just put your hand from top to bottom. Then your bridge, most definitely, you probably want to change a sound there, which starts, I thought I could live without romance. Elvis, seriously, live without romance? I doubt it. Yeah. So it's not that difficult of a song. It's a fun song to play. But how can we make it even funner? I know that's not a word.
More fun.
I think funner is more fun, yeah. This is when you want to start looking at maybe adding another song. Okay, so now we have to do same background and same tempo. Those are the first 2 I have to follow. So, okay, we're going to use 50s love songs at 72. That's actually kind of easy. There's a lot of them that will work with that. Okay, where would I insert a song? Now, you can just play the whole song and then just go right into a second song. If it's the same key, it's very easy. But what happens if you want to play part of a song and part of a song and maybe part of another song and then come back to the first song? Where would you
You have a
do
couple
that?
of choices, I think. You
There
can do
are.
you can do the first 8 measures,
Yeah.
change, and then go back to the second 8 measures. You can change again for the bridge if you want, or put the bridge in and change when you go back to the 4th 8 section.
Yep, that might be a little too many changes, but yes, those are the places that if you're going to
You won't
change,
know what
that would be
song
good.
you're playing anymore.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to totally rewrite the song.
No.
But you want to play enough of the song so people get an idea that, okay, I played the song. Now might be kind of done with the song. You can play the whole song. What I usually do is like play the whole song and then insert second song or part of second song and then go back to the bridge of the first song.
Good
Go back to
idea.
the bridge of the first song and finish.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot easier.
Mhm. Don't make it too, don't cut and paste so many times that you've totally rewritten the song.
Yeah.
You want people to get a gist of the song. If you're doing a medley of 2 or 3 songs, same thing. You might want to play the whole first page and instead of the bridge, go into second song. And then you might want to come back to the A part again, meaning skip the bridge completely. So you could insert a song in place of the bridge. That works sometimes.
Well, when Elvis sings that, he repeats the last 8 measures.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about inserting a second song. Yeah. Yeah. Because
But
the song is short.
The
song is short in itself.
Yeah.
So
And
I have a couple of suggestions for you. And I just went through my archives very quickly to see what would I have that might work. How about this? And I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play, I'll play the last 8 measures of the song, and then I'm going to go into a second song. Okay, let's try this. The last 8 measures starts the middle of page 105. Won't you please be my own?
yeah.
Okay, see what I did?
Yeah, you went into only you.
Yep, I went to Only You, and it was very smooth, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. You know why? Same rhythm,
Yeah.
same tempo,
Yeah.
same key.
Right.
So if you end the song and you're in the key of C, you can just go straight into it.
Okay.
Now, you can also do a lead-in chord to get you there. So right after that C, if you wanted to, you could play a G7, and the G7 will take you right into that next song in the key of C. Okay. Here's another one. Oh, let's try something. Let's try a different sound. All right. Okay, that worked too, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Summer Place. Now,
Nice.
what did I do to make it just a little bit different? Anybody catch it?
I don't know.
Okay,
I
you do it
added,
again.
you want me to do it again?
No, I'm kidding.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just gonna play, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I'm gonna just play the last line of I love you, I need you, I want you, or I want you, I need you, I love you. Very subtle. I added the alter style.
Oh,
Ah, because the alter style changes the background. Here's regular. Here's the alter style. Get that piano up top. And that sounds more like Summer Place. So you're still in the
Yes, it
same
does.
rhythm,
yep.
but the alter style just made it more better, another good grammar, for this song, for Summer Place. Okay, and again, you would take it apart in sections. Something else, why did Summer Place work? Because the chords are the same chord progression. C, A minor, D minor, G. That is the world's most common chord progression, and you find it in a lot of 50s songs, so it should be really easy to make smooth transitions. Okay?
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. I can't wait to try this.
Fun, isn't it? Yeah. This is.
Dawn,
Can't wait to try this.
Go ahead.
No, I can't wait to try this.
Oh.
That was really good.
This is fun. Here's another one, and this is not. Is this the 50s? No, this is a song from the 40s, but it was 1949, so it's getting
almost there.
close.
Yeah.
But it's the same chord progression. Once again, it's C, A minor, D minor, G7. So it was used in a lot of songs, even in the 40s. So let's try something. I'm just going to go to the next preset. Why? Because I can. And again, I'm going to play the last line here. I'm not going to play the whole song, but I just want you to hear how smooth it can be. All right. Now I'm going to play the G7 chord.
My foolish heart.
Yep, that's it.
Foolish heart. That sounds very good.
Fun, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Oops,
Oh.
stop. Thank you.
What song was that? What song was that?
That's My Foolish Heart.
Oh, My Foolish Heart. Okay.
My Foolish Heart. Yeah. Same chord progression, so it works. Yeah, this is fun stuff when you start doing this, but you don't want to take it apart in too small a sections because again, you don't want to rewrite the whole song. But sometimes you've got two songs that work together so well that you can either just flow one right into the other. That's a good way to start. Just play to the end and do the next song. You don't even have to go back, but it works a little nicer if then once you're done with this song, you go back to the original song. And if you come in right before the bridge or just play the last 8 measures, you can play the bridge and the last 8 measures or just repeat the last 8 measures again. So there's several different ways to do it, but you just want it to sound coherent and make it work. There's all kinds of ways to do this. Okay, I have one more. Now the problem is this one, guess what? Love Letters in the Sand. Oh,
that's a little faster.
Nope, it's 50s. If you look in song setup, Love Letters in the Sand is 50s love songs at 72.
Oh, okay.
So,
Dawn,
yep.
aren't sometimes the terms rhythm and tempo used interchangeably?
No, rhythm is your music style. Rhythm is the band.
Okay.
The tempo is the speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, tempo is speed. How fast or slow are we going?
But if
Rhythm
you're
is a little
not,
different.
if you're
Rhythm
not
can
talk-
also mean, is it a country rhythm? Is it a shuffle rhythm? Is it a boogie
okay,
woogie rhythm? You know, it sometimes can refer to style. So it's usually the rhythm is your music style. Your tempo is your speed, how fast it's going. Now, Love Letters in the Sand. I have a problem with this one, though. Guess what? The last chord is a G. Oh, so it's 2 out of 3. So how do I make it fit? Now, what's good about Easy Play, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing excellent. What's good about Easy Play is that most of the songs are going to be in C, F, and G. And those chords are all related, so it's pretty easy to move from one to the other. Remember how I played the G7 chord in between the last 2 songs? That G7 chord is a nice lead-in chord to give you a little bit of time to get into your next song, and it just makes a smooth transition. You can just go right into it. You don't need that, but it makes a smooth transition. So I'm going to use that by playing Love Letters in the Sand, and I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to start with this one, Love Letters in the Sand, and then go to I Want You, I Need You, I Love You. Well, why would I do that? Because this one's in the key of G, and the key of G, you can just go from a G to a G7, and the G7 is the lead-in chord to get me back to the key of C, so that one works pretty well. That's what I said. The key, the same key is the easiest one to break the rule. So if I play the last part of Love Letters in the Sand, let's see, where can I do this? I'm ending on G. Now I'm going to play a G7. Nice and smooth, huh?
Wonderful.
Oh, you're so smart.
Yeah.
So if you go from the key of G, if you've got one song in the key of G and one song in the key of C, start with the song in the key of G and play G7 when you're done. When you're all done playing the song, use that G7. Just go from G to G7. That's your lead-in chord to go back to C, and it's nice and smooth. Now, if you've got a song in the key of F and a song in the key of C, start with the one in the key of C. Why? Because you're going to end with the C chord, play C7, and C7 is the lead-in chord to get to the key of F. Aha.
Well, that's a little bit.
So yeah, so now you can, now it opens up more songs if you can use different keys.
Okay.
could
Yeah.
you use the transpose?
No, yes, you could, yes, I'm sorry, you could use the transpose. And in some cases I have done that, but then now you're talking about memorizing presets so that when you transpose it's smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yes, it does. If you've got 2 songs in 2 bizarre keys and you're really not sure how to get there, you can always transpose one to get up to the other one, and they match, so then they are in the same key. Yes. Yeah.
Daun, excuse me.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
My question is not musical, it's logical, I think. If you stop the song and is in the key of G,
Mhm.
and you want to go to G7, can't you just go back to the middle of the page, on page 104, and start at that G7 B part of the song?
Sure you could. Sure you could.
Right
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Once you're on G7, you can go back to that A section of the song that's in the middle of page 105 and just do the last 8 measures. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes. See, now you're starting to think logically, and that's a good thing. You're starting to think like arrangers. Yeah. But this is how to take an easy song and make it a little challenging, but not only challenging, but more fun to play. Yeah. And that way when you do concerts for your friends and neighbors or your dog or your cat, you'll at least have something a little more fun to play.
Dawn,
Okay, go ahead.
is that me? I'm used to listening to this song on the 50s radio station. And so I'm hearing some extra notes, like at the end of the first measure where Elvis goes, where he sings heart, but then he goes up and down. I'm playing it as like C, D, C, B, A, B, C again. He does this little real sexy sound.
Oh, he does a little twist and turn, huh?
Kind of,
Yeah.
kind of growls it.
Yeah. Now, if you're hearing that and
Yeah,
you can
at the end
figure
of
out those notes, you
Yeah.
write them in and play
I
them.
did, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what this is about too, is because this is easy play. And when it's an easy play, it's not going to sound exactly like the singer.
Yeah.
I took some liberties of adding some of his accents and breath, but I don't listen to this song a lot, so I didn't have I listened to it on YouTube maybe once. Excellent song, but yeah, if you're hearing those extra things, write them in, figure them out and write them in.
Also, at the end of the song, before you start the last section, that G, that's a low G, he sings that real high. He goes up 8.
Oh, okay. On Won't You Please Be My Own?
Yeah,
Or-
the won't part, he goes up.
Where is he doing that?
Then he comes down.
All right, I'm hearing something different at the bottom of page 104 on the more and more. I actually heard a little run like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you hear those, write them in. Absolutely, write them in, because that's the best way to remember. We're creatures of vision first, and we'll forget to play them if we don't give ourselves a little note on the paper to write them in. So absolutely, wow. Wow. We're going to have a Monday 2 o'clock student concert here pretty soon. Because I want to hear some of your creations. I think that would be fun. Yeah. Any questions about I want you, I need you, I love you?
Nope.
No? Okay. I will give you fingering. Any questions on medleys? We will continue with this, but try stuff. But if you've never done it before, the easiest way is to use those 3 rules: same rhythm, same tempo, same key. The key is the one that's the easiest to get around. But if you're just getting started, the easiest way are those 3 rules. And then all 3 of them are actually meant to be broken.
Dawn,
Yes.
can you just say what, if you want to go from the F to the C, what you should do? I didn't get that.
Okay, if you go from a song from F to C, you actually want to do it backwards. You want to start with the song in the key of C. And at
Okay.
the end of the song, you're going to end your song. Okay? And then you're going to play a C7, and then you're going to go to a song in the key of F.
Okay.
Okay? Start with the one in C. Use the C7 as the connecting chord, and then go to your key of F.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Yeah, this is fun stuff.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
This is really exciting.
It is. It's fun. It's fun. I
Yeah.
actually had a class before COVID, BC, before COVID, had a class that this is pretty much what we did. Is we did, I assigned a song, and then the class would come up with a medley song to go with it, and then they'd play it for everybody the following week. So yeah, this is fun stuff. Yeah. Don't be afraid to try things, because that's how you find out if you like it or not. And if you try something and you go, ooh, this is great, record it. Thank you, by the way, for everybody who showed up to the recording class. I had so much fun teaching that. It was excellent, excellent fun. And record what you're doing. And Cheryl, thank you for the emails. She found out how easy it was.
Gosh, what an experience.
Yeah. and that's what makes my job a pleasure. And it's a privilege for me to teach you guys. Thank you so much. I can't do it without you. Okay, for the rest of you who need fingering, stick around. Otherwise, the song for next week is I Will Wait for You. Oh, drama. Oh.
Play that at my wedding.
Woo! Wow. Nice. Yeah, that should be good too.
Thank you for
you guys.
everything, Dawn.
The rest of you stick around for fingering. Get your pencils out. Here we go. G4, A5, G4, E3, D2, C1, A4, B5, A4, F3, E2, D1, B4, C5. Let's go to the next line. B4. Now there's two ways to come down on this run. I'm only going to give you one of them. If your fingers feel like doing something else, please feel free to do so. G3, F2, E1. D2 with a circle, C1. That's a crossover. High C5. You might want to put a little arrow on the B, make it a 3. D5, C4, B3, D5, C4, low E1. B flat can be 3 or 4, A can be 2 or 3, whichever finger gets there first. High E5, A2, D5, or 4, whichever one gets there first, because you're going to put a check mark. G4, A5, G4. Now we're in the second A section. So basically we're repeating the fingering we did at the beginning. So 4, 5, 4, then the E is a 3, D2, C1, A4, B5. Next line, A4.
You go over
Yes?
the first two measures of that line,
Which one, the last two measures?
the first two.
First two of line 3, the B
Yes.
flat can either be let's do this, just the B flat is a 3, the A is a 2, and the A is a 2, E5 and A2, and D can be 5 or 4, whichever one gets there first.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Line 4, A4, F3, E2, D1, B4, C5, B4. Now I'm going to give you the other fingering. So, okay, choose this one or choose the one you did up here in line 2, and then erase the other one. G2, F1, E3 with a circle, D2, C1, high C5. Both of those fingerings work well from both places here. Put an arrow on the B, make it a 3. Last line, D5, C4, B3, D5, C4, low E1, B flat 3, A2, C4, D5, C4. And if you're doing the strums, You're using your lower fingers to do those strums. The fingering still stays the same. Now put a check mark because we're going into the bridge. C sharp 4. D5, top of the next page. B flat 3. A2, G1. A2, B flat 3, C4, C4. A3, B flat 4, G3, F2, E1, A3, or 4, whichever one gets there first. Check mark, we're in a new phrase. D4, E5, C3, B2, A1. Put an arrow on this D, make it a 5. B3, A2, G1. Third line, C4, D5. C4, D5. B3, C4, D5. Check mark. Now we're going back to the A section. G4, A5, G4, E3, D2, C1, A4, B5, fourth line, A4, F3, E2, D1, B4, C5, B4, G3, I'm going to go back to the first one, F2, E1, D2 with a circle, C1. Remember, pick one of those fingerings for that phrase and be consistent. Use the one that's the easiest for you and then erase the other one. C5, that's the high C. Put an arrow on the B, make it a 3. D5, C4, B3, D5, C4, E1, B flat 3, A2, A2, high D5, I'm sorry, that's an E, high E5, high E5, C can be a 3. Now if you're doing the finger roll, make C a 1, because then you want to use the rest of your fingers to do that nice little roll down every single note. And you just want to do a squiggly line between the E and the C. Questions? Nope. Okay.
Don, what is the finger roll we're doing there? Is it the same thing that we did CDE on the page before?
No, if you do a finger roll from the E to the C, you want to grab every note in between. So you want to do 5 on the E, then you want to do 4 on the E flat, 3 on the D, 2 on the C sharp, and 1 on the C. Just grab every note and then roll your fingers.
Got it. Yeah.
Do it fast.
Thank you.
And it sounds like a glissando when you're doing that. Yeah. Okay, I hope if you picked up one thing today, one thing, then you were 100% successful. Yep. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Question? Nope, you guys are awesome.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you. Inez, I haven't heard from Tam either, so I'm planning on emailing her or calling her to see
I
what's
got a
going
little
on.
text from her that they're out of town. So
Oh,
fine.
okay. All right. Thanks for
Yeah, she
letting
said
me
she was
know.
gonna call me when she got home. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I kind of figured she was traveling if we haven't seen her.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that info today. It was
You guys are
helpful.
awesome.
Thank
Bye.
you.